Hi everyone, Robin here, and I really hope you like my new avatar. I certainly like it. I would really like to give all the thanks to everyone that voted for this one. I know some of you like the shiny version, but this one was the one who won the vote, so this is how it has to be. Today's video is a pretty special one. My first ever Pokemon playthrough challenge. This challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon FireRed only using Pokemon from Pokemon Talk?
Hi, I'm Bulbasaur. And I'm Squirtle. And this is Pokemon...
You may be wondering, what is Pokemon Talk?
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Well, I'll explain. Pokemon Talk is a series on YouTube who was made by Michael Grove, or maybe more known as MandJTV. He's an awesome guy, by the way. You should totally watch his stuff if you haven't already.
Hell yeah!
Anyways, the show is about a plushie Bulbasaur and a plushie Squirtle hosting a talk show. Basically, they have fun interaction with the talk show guests and just pulling ridiculous jokes. And it's hilarious. I love it. And to show how much I love the show, I decided to try to beat a Pokemon game only using Pokemon Talk Pokemon. To win, I have two goals. Capture every obtainable Pokemon Talk Pokemon in FireRed, and only using those Pokemon to beat the game. And when I mean all Pokemon Talk Pokemon, I mean Pokemon that have appeared on the show in plushie form. There are some Pokemon that I just mentioned, like Farfetch'd, but I won't be using it. He's not a Pokemon Talk Pokemon. He was randomly mentioned once. I will also mentioning that I will allow myself Pokemon Talk Pokemon's pre-evolved form as well, but not evolved form. So, if a fully evolved Pokemon have appeared on the show, I can use the pre-evolved form as well, but if only the base form appeared, I can only use the base form. But that covers all the interests. Also, MandJTV, if you're watching this video and you're a bit upset because I did something wrong since I used some of your material and you want me to get rid of this video, just shoot me an email and the video is gone quicker than it takes Squirtle to say something crazy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And without further ado, this is Pokemon FireRed, but only using Pokemon Talk Pokemon. I named myself a Lover PT. PT stands for Pokemon Talk, by the way. And I named my rival Hate PT to represent the people that hate Pokemon Talk. Which is weird. Why would you hate Pokemon Talk? Let's go forward to when I'm gonna pick a starter, and the choice is obviously between Bulbasaur and Squirtle. They are the host after all.
Hi, I'm Bulbasaur. And I'm...
Stop it! You already done that joke today. Professor Oak, why are you not saying anything about it? I only got problems when someone rides a bike indoors. Oh my god. In the end, I decided to pick Squirtle since it will be able to be fully evolved, unlike Bulbasaur, which will only become Ivysaur. Squirtle, what do you want to be named?
Ooh! Tsunami!
Okay, Tsunami it is. Then I had to fight my rival and... What the heck? He has a Bulbasaur? How dare you? Clearly he's trying to throw me off by using a Bulbasaur and think that Bulbasaur betrayed us, but obviously that is an imposter Bulbasaur. But we showed him that even though he had an imposter Bulbasaur, nothing could beat Tsunami. Then after running Professor Oak's errand, I got myself my first catchable Pokemon, Pidgey, on Route 1. I caught it without much trouble and I named it the Bird Jesus.
You're named after a real-life human religious figure? Oh, no. He's named after me. Well, that's gonna upset a lot of people.
A little while later in Verulia Forest, I found another Pokemon I can get. Pikachu!
Hiya!
Squirtle! What the heck are you doing?
I'm saving the day. You're welcome.
Squirtle, you're a freaking idiot. A little while later, I was able to find another Pikachu, and this time I was actually able to hold Squirtle back. So I was able to capture it, and I named it Nemesis, since Pikachu is mostly associated as the Pokemon Talk Nemesis. After fighting a few trainers in the forest, I eventually got my way to Pewter City, and it's time for the first gym. and they got immediately flushed by the power of Tsunami. After defeating Onyx, Tsunami got to level 13 and got a water gun and...
Wait, do you have your tickets?
My tickets to what? Wait. Don't!
Your ticket to the gun show!
Oh my... I messed up there, didn't I? Anyways, on Route 3, I was able to find myself 2 more encounters. The first one being Nidoran Male. Even though you might have watched Pokemon Talk, maybe you will ask yourself, wait, did Nidoran Male appear on the show? When? Well, I explain. In Pokemon Talk episode 56, titled New Studio, there was a short moment where we saw a Nidoking guarding the fireplace. It was only for a split second, but it technically still appeared in plushie form, so it still counts. This Nidoking was shown to guard the fireplace because apparently there was a cranky Heatran in there. But since its ground stamina was of 1 super effective, Nidoking just needs to throw some mob after lame legendary.
Oh, shut up, you ever-grown can opener.
So I caught it no problem and I named it Can Guard, since it's its job to guard the Oregon can opener. What did Squirtle say? Then after a long time searching, I was able to find the second Pokemon I can obtain on Route 3, Nidoran Female. I caught it with no problem and named it Hard X, since Nidoqueen is a pretty hard-hitting Pokemon, and Nidoqueen was Squirtle's ex.
Nidoqueen is an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Then I entered Mount Moon, where I can get another encounter, Zubat. I caught it and I named it Bruce Wing.
What's that?
That would be a cave wall. Wait. Bruce?
Who's Bruce? I'm not Bruce. I'm Zubatman.
Oh, Zubatman. How convenient of you showing up just now. While I was training in Mountain Moon, Tsunami evolved into War Turtle, Kangard evolved into Nidorino, and Hard X evolved into Nidorina. After Hard X evolved, I decided to use the 2 Moonstone I had in my bag to evolve them into Nidoqueen and Nidoking. Then after beating the Super Nerd, I was allowed to pick one of the 2 fossils, and it was between the Helix fossil or the Dome fossil. And obviously I picked the Helix fossil to bring glory to Lord Helix. After getting out of my moon, I met a move tutor that could teach one of my Pokemon Mega Punch. And I taught it to Tsunami because...
Just kidding.
Squirtle! Sorry, Bulbasaur. I panicked. Well, it did its job, so it's not a big... Okay, now I'm pissed. Now it's really done its job. Anyways.
After reaching Cerulean City, I immediately took on my next attack by Hate BT. He led with Pidgeotto and I led with Nemesis, which was able to take it out, but took a lot of damage in the process. Next was his Rattata, which Cam got easily annihilated with Double Kick. Then was his Abra, which I took on with Bird Jesus, not because it was the best suited to do so, but mainly since I wanted to evolve soon. Then was his Bulbasaur, and because of Sleep Powder and Leech Seed, Bird Jesus fell. I then brought in Kangard once again, which was able to take it out with a few pecks. After a bit of fighting trainers on the bridge, Bird Jesus got to level 18 and evolved into a Pidgeotto and was just one step away from its fully evolved form. Then when I got to the grass, I got my next encounter, Oddish!
How's it going, everyone?
Oh, don't try to play nice. I know who you are, Oddish!
What do you mean?
All the evidence points at it. The pun, the drawings you make, and that Subway story you always tell. All the evidence points to the odd ones out.
Okay, fine, you got me. I'm really...
A very big fan of the odd ones out.
What? I mean, yes, I am.
Great, he's really good.
Oh yeah, he makes great stuff.
Okay.
You deserve to join. Anyways, I named him Odd Ones Out since he's clearly a fan of the Odd Ones Out. Wait, what? He is the Odd Ones Out? Well, that's great! A while later, I stumbled upon an Abra, which actually I can capture. I caught it and named it Audition, since one time an Alakazam came to do an audition.
Howdy y'all, my name's Alakazam. I'm a big fan of the Pokemon talks, the Bulbasaurs, and the Squirrel.
After that, I went into this house, and apparently there was a Lavender there that could talk. And that is just awesome. Would you like to be a guest on Pokemon Talk? We highly recommend any Pokemon that can... Oh, you're a human. Never mind that. Then after a bit of training, I decided to take on Misty. She led with Staryu, so I led with Burgess, which was able to take it out with 2 gusts thanks to a crit. Next up was Starmie, and I swapped with the Pikachu, but Water Pulse did a humongous amount of damage. And our Thunder Shock didn't do enough. I tried to do more damage, but it didn't work. I tried using Burgess, but Gust didn't a KO, and their Water Pulse confused us. I tried to finish off with a quick attack, but they potioned up, and then we knocked ourselves out with confusion. I brought in Tsunami, which was able to do some damage with Bite and Mega Punch, but it eventually fell as well, so I swapped it to Kanto, which was able to finish it off with one final pick. So I won, but this was probably the toughest gym battle of all of them. After I did that, I was able to get to Route 5 where I can count my next encounter, Meowth. I caught it and I named it Good Kitty, since Squirtle had replied to it as a good kitty.
Turns out Meowth handled turning off the oven for me. Such a good kitty.
After I reached Vermilion City, I decided to teach Kanto Dig, so at least one of my ground type had a ground type move. After that, I went into Diglett's cave to get my next encounter, well, Diglett. I caught it and I named it Hole, since it left a hole in the studio floor after it was a guest on the show.
See? Everything's fine.
Or maybe not. After that, I got to the daycare to pick up Audition the Abra, which I had left there so we can get up in level a bit. It just needed one more level to become a Kadabra, and then a quick trade later, it became an Alakazam. After a while, it was time to take on Head PT again, but this time on the boat. And this one went much smoother than the last one, which I was able to take out this Pokemon with Nemesis, Tsunami, Bird, Jesus, and Audition, annihilating his Kadabra. You should have evolved it already, dude. It was then time to taking on my next gym battle against Lieutenant Surge. And Kangar got 3 consecutive OHKOs by using its mighty dig. Since I'm going to need someone that can use Kanto later on, I decided to box Hard X, since while I already have the male version of it, I might as well use the one I taught Zig to. A little while later, we got in Rock Tunnel, which was very dark, but don't worry, all we had to do is flip the switch right here. Whoops, was the wrong one. Let's try this one. Maybe this one? I can live with this one. After dancing my way through Rock Tunnel, I got my to Lavender town and I entered the Pokemon Tower, and I had to take out my rifle once again. This battle turned out to be really easy, with Nemesis taking out his first 3 Pokemon, Tsunami taking out his Kadabra, and Burgess finishing off his imposter Ivysaur. After that, I started to climb the habit because I am not afraid of anything. Come on, your lame Pokemon, what do you got? Wait, is a ghost? Well, I'm not afraid. Show me your worst. You want a giant ukulele? No! Get me out of here! Well, this was scary, so let's move on. We got to Celadon City with not much trouble, and Pikachu started to be a little cocky.
I'm the most powerful electric type ever, and there's nothing you could ever do to—
What?
I smacked a thunderstone into his face, and he became a Raichu.
What have you done to me?
I evolved you. Didn't you listen to what you said?
No! This can't be! You can't do this!
Well, apparently I clearly can since I just did it. After that, I immediately head to the top of a building to obtain my next Pokemon, Eevee! I named it Eevee Bro since it's clearly a member of the Evolution Brothers.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here on your show today.
Jolteon, what are you doing here?
I'm entering onto your show. Oh, is that not the queue?
There is no queue! Jolteon, you're not supposed to be in this video!
What?
In Pokemon FireRed and Leaf Green, it's so that you can only obtain one Eevee until you unlock breeding, and breeding is in the post game. Since the challenge is I have to obtain all obtainable Pokemon in the game, by that I mean the Pokemon that are before beating the Pokemon League, meaning I will only be counting one evolution. Meaning I have to decide which one is the best. Well, since this is Gen 3, all other evolutions added on after that is not available. So no Leafeon, Glaceon or Sylveon. Since Espeon not appeared in plushie form, we won't use it either. And since Umbreon is locked to the post game, we won't have a floor tentacle crazy bro here around.
Well, where the wrath of the floor?
Seriously, Umbreon, you have to stop doing that.
But it's achieved running gag status, so I kinda have to keep doing it. You know, like yelling about floor tentacles.
Fair point. Anyways, since I already covered Jolteon's electric typing and Vaporeon's water typing with other members of my team, those being Tsunami and Nemesis, I decided to give myself Flareon. And hopefully this one will not know Shatter. A quick stop to the department store to get a Firestone, and Flareon was born. I immediately starting off clearing out the trainers I haven't taken on yet to get Eevee Bro some experience, but also collect their money so I could teach it Flamethrower. During this process, I even took on all of the Rocket Hideout. A while later after that, it was time for my first battle against Giovanni. He said I would experience a world of pain, but he had no idea what's gonna hit him. He led with Onyx and I led with Audition, which I was able to two-shot him with the Psybeam, only taking a little bit of damage with the Bite. Kangaskhan was a bit tougher. It didn't take too much damage from my Psybeams, and it got Audition all the way to red HP, so I swapped it into Kanguard. After that, Kango was able to finish up Kangaskhan and the Rhyhorn not long later. Then Giovanni fled the scene, but left his Seal Scope. I'm definitely gonna use it. And after taking on all the trainers, and even selling some of my items to get the rest of the money, finally I got enough for Flamethrower to my Flareon. That was a lot. At least after that, Flamethrower paid off and Flareon got 3 one-hit KOs against all of Erica's Pokemon, giving me my easiest gym battle so far. A little while later, I got my way to the Pokemon Tower, and this time with the Oscilloscope in hand, I was not afraid of any ukulele. And in here, I can find my next encounter, Ghastly. Since Gengar appeared on the show, but not only that, he appeared on the very first episode of Pokemon Talk. And he was called a pedophilic clown.
What'd you call me?
Nothing. Anyways, I caught it and it's Chucky, since Gengar is famous for taking his lunch breaks at Chuck E. Cheese.
No, I take my lunch break at a far more mature establishment.
Oh yeah? Like where? A theme park for babies?
No, a strip club.
Wait, what?
I mean, yeah, I did say a more mature establishment. I wasn't kidding.
We should go to a strip club right now. We could take the neighborhood kids with us too. I'm sure they'd love all the strips.
What? Tsunami? Stop talking like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. That'd be insensitive. Wouldn't want to exclude the vegans.
Anyways, after saving the woman from the tower, I started making my way south of Lavender town, and on the way, Ghastly evolved into Haunter. After that, I decided to get into the Safari Zone to do the necessary thing of getting the Golden Teeth and Surf, but also to obtain something spicy. My next available encounter, Psyduck. I needed Core since it's Pokemon Talk's correspondent.
Hi everyone, I'm Psyduck, and I'm
Not now Psyduck, but also while I was so far son, I also got myself a Dratini. Since both of his evolved form, Dragonair and Dragonite, have appeared on the show. The first one got away, but the second one I was able to get by throwing a rock in his face. That is how you make friendship. Anyway, since it was a female, I needed a hot dragon, since it's gonna become a hot Dragonair girl. After that, I decided to trade one there and back so it become a Gengar, meaning another deck entry completed. After that, I also let hot dragon at the daycare so it could get up in level a bit. After that, I went a bit east of Future City where I can get my next encounter, Ditto! I caught it and I named it Hey Baby, since it is his famous line. And with this, all the Pokemon that I needed to get in the wild. After that, I started to do some training, and during the training, Tsunami evolved into Blastoise, and Burgess evolved into a magnificent final form of Pidgeot. Then it was time for me to stop Team Rocket's takeover of Silcove, and I decided to take on PT again. Seriously dude, you're picking a really weird spot for battle. First it was on a boat, then it was a tower full of gravestones. Now, during a building that is about to be taken over by an evil team? You're a bit weird, aren't you? But this battle was quite easy. Nemesis taking out his Pidgeot and Gyarados, Tsunami taking out his Growlithe, Eevee finishing off his Venusaur, and Burgess swiftly finishing off his Alakazam. Though I say this battle was a job well done.
Hey!
Oh yeah, after that I also could talk to this guy to get my next encounter, Lapras. I named it A because I quickly hear a Whaleyog is always going A. You may be wondering how a Lapras can even snap. Well, it's because of whale power.
Hey!
It was then time for my next battle against Giovanni, but Audition quickly finished up his Nidorino and Nidoqueen, Kangar finishing off his Kangaskhan, and Tsunami finishing off his Rhyhorn. So this battle ended pretty smoothly. Then the director of the company gives to me a Master Ball, but I don't really see why I need it for. After that, I went back to the daycare to check up how Dratini had done, and it was just one level away from evolving. So I brought on the team, and this means that I'm going to bench Burgess. I like Burgess, he has done an amazing job up to this point, but Dragonite is just such a powerful Pokemon, and I feel like it's going to help a lot. One record later, and Dratini has become a hot Dragonair girl.
Well, hello, beautiful. My name is...
Tsunami! It's not the time!
Wait, what?
There is no time for flirting. Besides, Dragonair eventually gonna become a Dragonite. You never show much interest in hot Dragonite girls, so I feel like it's better if you just move on.
Ugh, fine.
I decided to train it up a little bit more against the gym trainers, but it couldn't do much of a resistance. So I pretty much wished it out whenever necessary. But then it was time to taking on Koga. Thanks to Paralysis, Hot Dragon was able to finish its first coughing up with some Dragon Rage, but it was pretty low on health. I tried using it against Mach as well, but even if I tried to heal, its slash always brought me down. So I swapped in Audition, which was able to finish it off, and then I brought in Hot Dragon again against his second coughing. And after some healing and Dragon Raging again, second coughing was taken down, and then it was time for his Wheezing. I was able to land a Thunder Wave, but then it fell to a sludge. I swapped it to Kanga, which was able to finish Wheezing off by using Thrash. After that, it came apparently to me that it was not a good idea trying to using Hot Dragon until it became stronger. So I went up to the sea to take on some of the water trainers, and during this I got my way to Cinnabar Island where I could revive my Helix fossil to get a new encounter, Omanyte. Just to clarify, this is not Lord Helix. Omanyte is just a form that Lord Helix prefers to take when he travels to the mortal world.
Plus, like I said, I like my tentacles.
I named it Mini Helix since it's a little miniature version of the great Lord Helix. After a while of keep grinding, I decided to take on Sabrina, and it was a piece of cake. Eevee was savage. I secret powered to smash both her Kadabra and Mr. Mime into oblivion, burned up her Venomoth with a flamethrower against Alakazam, while this set up a Calm Mind. I used Secret Power, which did a lot, I tried using quick attack to finish it off, but they healed. Then they went with a psychic, but it didn't KO, and Ibiro finished it off with one more secret power. Seriously, I don't get why people did that joke about Flareon has no moves. Apparently there was a joke that says Flareon has no moves, but I certainly didn't experience that. My Flareon clearly had good moves. It annihilated, which most people consider to be the toughest gym leader in all of Kanto. A while later of training, it was time to take on Blaine, and it was a piece of cake. Tsunami set up a rain dance, and we surfed them all into oblivion. Not even his mighty Arcanine could resist the power of a rain-boosted surf. After that, the Bills arrived out of nowhere and wanted to take me to the Sevii Islands. Maybe I can meet Dragonite here. Maybe it's on vacation here. While I was at the Sevii Islands, I discovered something. I heard multiple people calling Viridian Forest the Forest of Buff Men, since the tree kinda reminds of buff men. See? But there's actually another forest, and that is the Berry Forest on Free Island. The only difference is that these trees are yellow, so I guess this is the forest of big buff men with a tan? Or something like that? After some grinding in the Sevii Islands, I returned to the mainland to take on Giovanni, the final gym leader. And just like with Blaine, I reigned up with Tsunami and surfed all of his Pokemon into nothingness. After that, it was time to take on my rival for the final time before the league. He led with Pidgeot and now led with Nemesis, as usual, and finished it right off. Then in came Rhyhorn and swapped into Hot Dragon since I needed to get some experience. I was able to finish it off with a Surf and also his Gyarados with a Shockwave. Then in came Growlithe, which also fell to a Surf. Then was Alakazam, and I surfed it a lot, but then they hit me with but thanks to a Calm Mind boosted Psychic, Hot Dragon got down to 1 HP, but then we was able to finish it off with a Shockwave. Then came out his Venusaur and a swap with Audition, which was able to finish it off with 2 Psychics. So I beat my rival for the second to last time. After getting through Victory Road, it was then time to train up my team and improve their moveset a bit. And after a long time, my team was finally assembled. Well, almost. There was one more thing that had to be done, and that was giving Hot Dragon a rare candy, so it got to level 56. It was at level 55, but I decided to not do that, because then it would miss out one thing. Outrage. After getting Outrage, Hot Dragon evolved into a fearsome Dragonite. With that completing my first goal of getting every obtainable Pokemon Talk Pokemon in FireRed. And now it was time to take on the league and finally beat this game. First up was Lorelei, but she was easily dealt with the power of Nemesis and Eevee. Lapras' confusion caused some trouble, but we were able to come through. Next up was Bruno, with Tsunami finishing off his 2 Onyxes, Kangard finishing off his Hitmonchamp, and Audition finished off his Machamp and Hitmonlee. Next up was Agatha, but it was a clean sweep with the power of Audition.
Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam!
Finally was Lance, and he was the toughest one. Nemesis was able to take out his Gyarados, and Hot Dragon's Outrage was able to take out his true Dragonair, but when it was faced against his Dragonite, and because we hit ourselves in confusion while they did damage, Hot Dragon fell. I brought in Tsunami next, we was able to finish off his Dragonite with an Ice Beam, and it took a few turns to take out his Aerodactyl due to them using a lot of potions, but then Tsunami was able to hold on 11 HP, and the Aerodactyl used a critical hit Hyper Beam. That's the work of a champion. Tsunami finished on the same turn though, and we had officially beat the Elite Four. And at long last, it was time to take on the champion of Kanto, my rival, Hate PT. It's time to show that Pokemon Talk is the most superior show on YouTube, and no one will stop me. He led with Pidgeot once again, and I led with Kangard. But then Hate PT swapped out to his Alakazam, so not trying to risk anything, I swapped it to Audition, where he was able to finish his Alakazam off with 2 Thieves. Next was his Gyarados, and I swapped into Nemesis, which took a Furious side on the switch-in, but after that, a quick Thunderbolt annihilated the big water serpent. Next was pitch out again, and I decided to give Vanguard another chance. It was quite annoying because of their feather dancing, lowering our attack a lot. Then I decided to try going for a blizzard, which didn't KO, but it froze it. It stayed frozen long enough for Vanguard to be able to finishing the bird off with a brick break. Next one was right on, and Tsunami came in and finished her off with a surf. Then was his Venusaur, and I swapped with the Eevee Bro, and thanks to them setting up Sun, who was able to finish him off with one powerful overheat. Then was his Arcanine, and I swapped into Heart Dragon, which was able to do some damage with Surf before finishing it off with a powerful Outrage. And with that, we have defeated APT and completed my second goal, and now we have officially beat Pokemon FireRed, unleashing Pokemon from Pokemon Talk. And with this glorious squad was one I did it with. Just look at that. An incredible team to end up with.
This isn't a live show. We won't hear their responses.
Oh, well still. Well, this playthrough turned out to be a lot of fun. And I'm really hoping that this video do great. So without further ado, pronounce Arceus Arcus, be confused about the floor, and pronounce Yveltal.
Yveltal, God of Darkness and Death!
What the f*** happened to the floor? Our episodes are never reasonable.
The floor tentacles are drowning me!
Okay, maybe more than a little bit.
Oh, fire! I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here on your...
Alright, that's enough.